What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Okay.
Shit.
Primetime vibe. Make sure you check it
How? Why the fuck you think he missing? You say that.
And second bill a whole lot.
Now I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.
What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space. I'm in your face. Definitely blessed to be living on this wonderful day. It is May 5th, 2026, here in the great state of Mississippi. We are live at 5 here on the Prime Time Network. Giving everybody a little time to come on in, doing some system checks and making sure that we're hitting on all cylinders all the way across the board. How's everybody doing out there today? How is your week started off? How are things going? Welcome to everyone who has joined the live. See what's going on with my link. Wow, I'm looking a little blurry. Let's see what I'm looking like on all the platforms, because I like to give you guys crisp, clean video. So let's see if we can rectify all of this. All right. Before we get too deep off into it. What it is. We're going to have a really good conversation today. Locked in with Paul Whitehouse. It is Tuesday. Get rich and don't cry trying. My good man Jarrell Bradwell should be with us here in just a little bit. I do believe that he is spending time with family. The Detroit Pistons kick off the second round of the playoffs at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking forward to that, and ready to lock in and watch that game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight. I am still. Give me just a minute. Let me do a couple of things here. Everybody, don't mind me. Get these things in focus. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate the Detroit Pistons. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Although you are up in, I think your home team up there in Cleveland, would be very disappointed in that. You coming out of Ohio. I don't know about all that now. Let me get all these cameras adjusted straight. Yeah. Before I jump on with you, Paul. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Welcome to the live. Lil G, welcome to the live. Trying to get these cameras straight before we get off into it. I like all these things to be running the way they're supposed to be running, you know? It's lag time. It's a little aggravated, but we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna keep it pushing. Let's go ahead on and jump this thing off. Let me ask y'all something, right? Everybody's talking about fix and flips, buy low, renovate, sell high. Sounds simple. Sounds like money on autopilot. But the real truth about it that nobody really likes to break down, it's not the property that makes you rich. It's the people and the connections to the property. See, a lot of folks jump into fix and flip programs thinking the play is about houses. That's one aspect of it. The real game is the relationships. You can have the perfect deal sitting right in front of you, but if you don't have the right contractor, the right lender, the right inspector, real estate agent, well, the deal will kind of start to drain you real quick. So today, we're not just talking about flipping houses. No, we're talking with Paul Whitehouse. We're talking about financing and creative financing. So we're talking about flipping your network into net worth, right? Because the difference between somebody struggling to finish one project and somebody running 5 projects at the same time is simple. Their contact list, who do you call when something goes wrong, who can get the job done fast, who can save you money instead of costing you money. Those are the people that build your business. And let's take it a little step further. Good contacts don't just help your business, they become your business. Partnerships, referrals, exclusive deals, off market opportunities. This is how real players move. So, if you're serious about getting into the fix and flip game or taking your operation to the next level, well, you better stop chasing properties and start building powerful connections. Because at the end of the day, you're not just investing in real estate, you're investing in people and the right people, nonetheless. You know, they'll take you a whole lot further than any single deal ever could. So let's talk about it. We're going to jump into it with my good man, Paul Whitehouse. I'm going to bring Paul to the stage. Paul, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great with you. Made it another day. Time to go.
Yes, yes. I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. Ready, set, go. You wanted to talk about fix and flips, financing, and things of the like, yes?
Yeah, really, everything you just said, you brought it together so well. There's fix and flip programs. Okay. I'll go into those. We provide them in conjunction with Industry Talk. You want to get a hold of me, get a hold of Galen. We'll talk money for your business. But fix and flip programs, money to buy real estate and renovate it, sell it for profit. We've got that. But the contacts, how do you get the contacts? And we're not just talking only in the real estate, we're talking contacts for any business. It's two separate subjects. They tie together perfectly, but contacts are so important for everything. You can't do it alone.
Okay. So what's on your agenda for today? What's the discussion for today?
Well, first, let's talk about contacts for any industry, any business that will help any business that you're in. You can't be shy. How to get the contacts, where to get them, what to say to them, how to invite them into what you're doing, form a relationship with them. We'll talk about that because getting business contacts is super important. Then we'll branch off into, if you're going to, these contacts you get, you can line them up into real estate and how we can help any of these listeners who want to do real estate investing in commercial or investment properties, how they can get the money to do that.
Okay. So speaking of listeners, big shout out to everyone who is attached at the hip with us at the moment. My good man Gregory Barabino, Dr. Gregory Barabino, Jay Shaw. That's what I'm gonna do. Who else is tapped in with us right now? Earl Hempstead. What's going on? Make sure y'all tap in with Earl. Earl has a production out on The Big Bag. They're doing a kidney awareness fundraiser. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with our good man Earl Hempstead. And they're doing the backyard brawl situation. Whereas if you've got a hood beef, call it out and bring your ass. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? Come to the ring and shake a tail feather. See what you got. You know what I mean? And instead of taking the street the wrong way, let's box for charity. So got some really good programs going on with my man Earl Hempstead out there. And I'm talking with Paul today, Paul Whitehouse. I do believe Jarrell Braswell will jump in here with us here in just a little bit. Fix and flip is a system, not a hustle. I want you guys to understand that. Everybody sees the finished house. Nobody sees the machine behind it. Right, Paul? So if you're treating a fix and flip like a one-off play, you'll always be chasing the next deal before you even close a deal, right? And then there's so much that goes into it. So let's say someone comes in and wants to deal with you. The house can be used as equity, I'm sure, as collateral, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the percentages? What are we looking at in terms of based on the refurbishing of the home? If we're looking at, and of course, sight unseen, we don't really know what's going on under the home, if the plumbing is jacked up or any of these things. So we're just looking at going in, do a rehab, renovate, and get out, which is a little bit harder than what it sounds like. These, guys out here on the internet make it sound so easy and fun to do. But when you really get into it, if you don't have the capital, if you don't have the, a secured credit line to finish these projects, you could exhaust resources by a number of different ways. Contractors laying on your leg and bullshitting you when it comes to getting work done. So how do we mitigate some of these things? And of course, we're talking about contacts, having the right contacts, people in the right places, whether it be a contractor, whether it be a real estate agent, whether it be a finance broker, or an individual such as yourself with lease finance options that are out there, or going after the good money. Talk to us about, what you guys offer, Paul, for individuals like myself that may want to go find an investment property and do the fix and flip game.
All right. We represent a lot of lenders who do fix and flips. We don't we don't use a lot. We've zeroed in on 6 or 7 that we work with all the time. They
Okay.
each have a variation of their number. So if you're doing fix and flips, there's 3 levels. There's beginner, intermediate, expert. Those things affect interest rate, they affect loan to value and after repair value. Here's how they affect it. One lender, 0 to 3, heavy rehabs, they consider you a beginner. You got to put on the purchase price of the house, you got to put down 25 or 30%. They will finance 100% of the rehab cost. Those two numbers combined cannot exceed 70% of the after repair value. Here's the easiest example. $100,000 house, you buy it for 40, 45, you put 20 into it, you got 60 or 65 into it for the loan, and that's 70,000 is the 70% LTV. You can't exceed that amount. So you sell it for 100,000 market value, you make 30,000. Double it, $200,000 house. I mean, you got to make the numbers right, of course, but that's the financing program right there. Bump up to intermediate. If you've done 5 to 7, or with one lender, 3 to 6, 3 to 7 actually. Then
So let me ask you this then. Now, not to cut you off, but is this, see, this sounds like a fast money situation, a fast money cycle. You know, is fix and flip really wealth building, or is it really just a fast money cycle and it collapses without constant deals?
everything collapses without constant deals.
Right.
So some people are pulling these things off in 3 months. Some people are
Mhm.
taking 6 months, 8 months to rehab the house and sell it. The finance agreement is you have 12 months to complete the project. You don't want to take 12 months. You want to do it in 3 months. You want to get good enough to be able to pull it off in 3 months. But when you said, is it wealth building? This is war chest building. Yeah, it's wealth building. You can just keep doing this and you're building wealth. But another way you can look at it, Galen, is you're building your war chest. Let's say you do 10 fix and flips and you make 30 or $40,000 on each project. All of a sudden you've got 3 or $400,000 to work with. Continue to do fix and flips because that's bringing money in. But with that 3 or $400,000, you can go buy single family homes, because when you're buying a single family home for long-term rental financing, which we provide, they're going to want 20% down on investment properties, or 25, depends on credit score. But imagine if you had $400,000, you could literally put 20% down on 15 properties, purchase 15 rental properties with financing, buy right. You always have to buy right so you can, make money, and not, you don't want to be putting out $1,500 for your payment and only collecting $1,500 in rent. You got to do it the right way. But you've built your war chest through fix and flipping. All of a sudden now you own 15 homes that are paying you monthly. That's a long-term wealth play right there.
Jonathan Shaw says, I think people have to have some type of knowledge before stepping into the fix and flip game. I agree. A veteran
Oh,
brother told
yeah.
me to get into duplexes. That's another option as well. Duplexes. One pays the mortgage, the other is passive income. Yeah, yeah. So, Paul, what do you suggest? Since we're just talking about it, we're beating it up, and I've I have friends that deal with single family dwellings and different ventures along those lines. But there are the horror stories, So how do we avoid the horror stories?
every single business and industry that exists has horror stories. So how do you avoid them? Like John, I really like what Jonathan said. Yeah, you do have to have some type of knowledge from stepping into the fix and flip game, but you got to have some type of knowledge if you're stepping into the music industry. You got to have it if you're stepping into whatever manufacturing. If you're buying a pizza shop, you got to have that some knowledge. So surround yourself with the good people, learn, become an expert. You don't got to go to school for 2 years or 4 years to become an expert in a subject. And in this case, if you've never done real estate, invest 3 months into learning and then get some good
Mhm.
contacts, because when you're going to buy a house to fix and flip or even long-term rental, you're going to want to get it inspected. Work with the same inspector. That's a contact who can refer deals to you. Contacts do those things for you. So yeah, make sure have knowledge when you're going into it. Have knowledge who you're working with. Contact people who've got knowledge. And but fix and flips, figure out how to do it. Here's a story yesterday that kind of ties what we're talking about together with contacts
Mhm.
and fix and flips. So a referral brought me a deal. We got on the phone with him. He told me, he says, difficult credit. I do that. This dude's a worker, works a regular job, pours concrete, does all types of projects. He's building a concrete company. He's moving forward. He's got a goal in mind. And he said, I've never done a fix and flip. I got other friends who do it. I want to do it. I can't do it because my score. Well, that's not always true, because you know we can help with difficult credit scores, but in his case, we can't.
Mhm.
But when I tied it together with, and that's why I thought about us talking about this today. I mean, the advice I gave to him was all your people, all your friends, family, find somebody, present them the deal. Get a piece of paper, write 200,000 on top of the piece of paper. This is what we're going to sell it for. Write another number below that, 110, 120. This is what I got to buy the house for. Write 40 or 50 or 40 would be that. This is what we got to invest into it. I've got the money for the down payments. You've got the credit score. Let's partner together. Let's do this 5 times. Let's build a war chest. And then my advice to the gentleman I was talking with yesterday said, if you do that 5 times, if you go out and find contacts you already have or people who you can put a deal together for on paper and they look at it and they say, I like this, let's do this, build your war chest and then start doing it on your own. So that's tying contacts and the program together right there.
Right. Okay. Did you get a chance to look at that message I sent over Instagram today?
I didn't look at it yet.
Well, little context, right? Because I hit you up and we jumped on a video conference. Well, you did briefly with me before you had to step into a meeting. We were talking with Mario, right?
Right.
And so Mario is looking for ways to make some things happen with his culinary skills. And you know, how often do you get onto a conference call with um, the
Right.
presidential chef? I'm talking about the individual that cooks for not just this current administration, but for 8 administrations prior, or somewhere along the line, whatever he had done.
Yeah.
The backstory is there. Um, but we had an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with Marty. I'm sorry, I'm saying Mario, with Marty, because of what he's wanting to build with his organization and taking his cooking ensemble, I'd say almost like a Mary um, band of men and women that collectively, because he has 12 chefs that have cooked for or do cook for the presidential staff, whether it's correspondence dinners, events, you know, whatever the case may be, special dishes. And he wants to come up with a way to finance or sponsor or gain endorsements and sponsorships to help him move his product, business, and services along, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if you had an opportunity to think about it a little bit for the brief conversation that we were on, but what could you see with something like that and his business? You know what I'm saying? Because you got Jeff Bourdain, you have the chef that's in the kitchen, the blonde hair guy that's always yelling at folks. I can't think of his name, but Hell's Kitchen, I think that's the name of the show or one of the shows. These guys are pretty popular, but how does, outside of network television and booking gigs for corporate sponsors and events, does that work? You see, because you're not getting someone like this to come do your backyard barbecue. You get what I'm saying?
Following you, and I'm tying
So
it
these,
into what we're talking about.
yeah, so these are high end. These are high end chefs doing high end business, and you know, Jay Shaw, you might want to get Quest tapped into this as well, because these guys, he was telling me that, you know, they're getting bookings for like 64,000 for the whole kit and caboodle to come out to different places. You know, folks flying them out to the yachts and um, uh, islands, you know, for their display. You know, and all he's doing is taking his his cutlery bag and jumping on a plane with the crew, and you know, they're getting the royal treatment laid out because of who they are. You know, I enjoyed the conversation. We stayed on the video conference for about 2 hours. Well, so what do you say about that in terms
Oh
of
my,
financing something like that?
I I mean, I got to think about the financing, something like that. I'll hit that in 1 second. I just want to tie it together what you said. So, contacts. I'm a hillbilly from Ohio, man. I roll in the mud, and I met somebody like that through you because I made contact with you and became, you know, became, how am I on your show every week? I made contact with you. Somehow you made contact with him, which is amazing. And through his contacts, he's getting $64,000 bookings and going out to yachts. Like that ties in with what we want to talk about tonight is all these contacts, how to get them, how to ask for them, how to work with them. You said, how do you finance something like that? Well, I mean, the two things that popped in my head as you were talking about it, you said them. I was like, well, imagine if you could bring 12 chefs to a party and some rich guy could say, I got the 12 chefs who cook for presidents here. Apparently that's what they're already doing. They're using their reputation, they're using their experience and the contacts that they made to be able to go do that. That's a lot of money to get out there for, they're going on yachts, they're getting on planes, they're getting paid for their travel, they're getting big money for doing what they love to do because of their contacts.
Yeah.
So that when you're asking me how to finance that was something popped into my head. They're doing it. TV show, there's got to be somebody who wants to see that. Presidential foods or something, stories, presidential cook-off. And they were on that call yesterday with you for a reason, Galen, because they value you as a contact, and you've got the ability through your creative processing, through your network in the entertainment industry and the business world, just people all over, everywhere. The people you've introduced me to over the years, I've been amazed by them. Do you hear about, you know, this guy who did this? I was like, yeah, I saw a movie about that. And you're like, well, this is him. All right. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit right here, but the
No, I
contacts are,
understand. Well, and big shout out to my brother Terry Allred. He made that connection with one of our artists, Regine Gagne. She'll be here. Regine will be here on the 12th to talk with us as well. But like I say, man, it is a godsend, to have those opportunities with anyone that I get an opportunity to meet that's on the up and up and on the positive. It keeps me on the straight and narrow and my eye on the prize in terms of knowing that what I'm doing, what we're doing here with the organization, how we nurture and take care of the artists that deal with us and the people that we network with, and we treat them like family because it becomes family when you deal with people long enough and you build that relationship. That's what it becomes. So I can only be thankful knowing that these relationships are fostered through the godsends that come across the board, just like me meeting Curvy Capone and her talking about industry. I mean, inside the pastor study and giving us the opportunity to, interview all of her cast and crew. She put me in contact with Foster Corridor. 22 years this man filmed all of the Dolomite films. Like I said, so it's about building those relationships. And, I don't know if Curvy is on here today or if Vicky Luce is on here. Vicky, I'm still waiting for the photo and our opportunity to interview you here on Industry Talk. You keep skating by for some odd reason, but we're going to get that interview. But yeah, man, we fostered our relationship over some years now, Paul. We've known each other for some time, and to come full circle and have an opportunity to be in this space and talking about what we're talking about. I never would have thought it was going to happen this way, but it evolved into opportunities and networking and keeping good face and a good face card and relationships with people. So yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the opportunity to give folks information, give them knowledge, give them opportunities to jump into knowledge and things that they may not know about. And if they have questions, we find answers. We find answers for them. So is there anything else we want to get into as it relates to this Fix It Flip and to this finance? If you have anything else bullet point wise that's on your list, I got some questions, but is there anything that you wanted to talk about specifically?
I'll just run through these points I wanted to get across.
Okay.
5 direct messages every day or emails. Takes you 15 minutes. Choose people you don't know or you might know that you want to get to know better. Send them a direct message. Giving, not asking for, not taking, present your idea. Make it the right message you send all the time. That is 1,820 attempts every year if you only do 5. Imagine if you did 15 or 20. Now, 1,820 per year. Average return ratio on advertising, I don't know, I think it's 3 or 7% or something. Let's go 3%. That's 54 major contacts. You are one of the contacts. I was doing this, I did it, and through that effort, I met you, and look where I'm at. And look who you've introduced me to. And look at all of that. But it only takes one to change your life. If you work it right with them, only takes one. But if you get 3%, 1% is 18. 3% is 54 major contacts that you can do a lot of things with. Contacts equal money. Contracts are currency. Okay. It's electric. You got to have contact and current to power your house. Otherwise, your house is dark. You got nothing. make the contact, keep the current going, get the currency. You got power on. Power on keeps you going. How do you get these contacts? Well, reaching out to people you don't know. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, the obvious ones. Okay. Personal contacts. The potential client I talked with yesterday, a guy named Mohammed brought him to me. He's my friend at the gas station. I asked him, I said, here's what I do. I pay a referral fee, 10%. There's people in here all the time with trucks and equipment. Here's what we do. Just, it's a 3-way phone call. Get me on the phone with them. You get 10%. And he did yesterday. He's a contact I made because I'm at the gas station, the grocery store, a restaurant. If you see somebody and you think something, go ask them, give them your business card. They like it. It's not a bad thing. Personal contacts, boom, boom, boom. Anywhere contacts. I mean, we've hit a lot. I think that's all I got to say on contacts. I think I've said contacts 100 times tonight, Galen.
Oh,
but
you must be trying to drive home the point. Contacts, networking, and the human resource as opposed to the transactional one as it relates to the property or the real estate that we have in question, since we're talking about fix and flips, or anything for that matter. Building the relationship is paramount. It's more important than just trying to get a deal done.
Getting deals done is easy. It's math and not knowledge.
Yeah. So, and I guess I'm saying that, Paul, because can you hear me pretty good?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. I'm saying that because, we come from and I say we, and and it's a generalization, but we hear those cliche statements, that if you could just change one person's mind, you've done enough type shit, right? Well, I come from a different mold, because everyone that I touch, every life that I touch, every soul that I come across, I know that there's some impact. I know that there's something residual that stays with them once they've passed through my life or they've come in contact with me, good or bad, right? Good or bad, because every occasion isn't a positive one, but I've had more positive occasions than bad occasions, right? Or bad meetings or bad connections, or things that just didn't work out, or maybe I didn't pursue it the way that they wanted to be pursued, because I don't chase after business like that, right? Because I do believe that my work, my efforts, the ground game, and the things that I apply, and the discipline that I carry myself with as it relates to getting things done, should speak volumes. And it's time tested. It's not like it's just, I've been feeling this way and it's a fleeting moment or thought of, yes, I can conquer the world because of who I am. No, I've busted my ass just like you've busted your ass over years to get knowledge and gain knowledge and be able to, present what it is that you do, what you offer, whether it's sales, whether it's selling products, whether it's IT, whether you're in the labor field as a plumber or a garbage technician, you work in a fast food restaurant. If you're pursuing that, and I'm using fast food restaurant, if you're pursuing that as a long-term career, you start off entry level, you work your way up to mid-management, then you're looking at general management, regional management, then inevitably buying the restaurant, or buying into the franchise. And, that's a whole different level of how you're living and taking that career seriously, as opposed to just, hey, I'm a high school kid looking for a check because I want to go buy some clothes. You're mapping out a plan for yourself. That's the level of conversation commitment that I bring to the game, and the people that I deal with, they're the same type of people. You see, in my eyes, I consider you to be the same type of people. Jay Shaw, the same type of people. Jarrell Braswell, the same type of people. You get what I'm saying? The Keith Wallace, the same
Yeah.
type of people. Or Regina Lindsay, the same type of people. You see what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and they keep their eyes on the prize and the business in front of them, but they have a true humanitarian spirit, when it comes to getting things done and getting things accomplished, and not trying to um, screw over people, because that's easy to do. Screwing over people is easy to do, Paul, because you have a large base of individuals that don't have the knowledge. So if you're dealing with folks that don't have the knowledge, it's easy to get over on them. You see?
And what you just said made me think about this. Anytime you're working with somebody good, this is what I do. When I'm talking to somebody, they're going to have all of the information on the subject we're talking about. Here's the good, here's the bad, here's how it works, here's how much money you need down. It's the bank, it's not me. Here's the reason why. Here's every angle that you can take. So,
Mhm.
yeah, totally. I agree with you.
Right. Right. And I'm not just saying stuff to get you to agree with me. I like to debate topics, but at the end of the day, what's really the debate about? Here on Industry Talk, we want you to grow and learn. I mean, if there's something that's said controversially and misunderstood, then we need to talk about it. Or, there are multiple ways to skin the cat, so to speak. But when we speak so outside the box that it calls for a reining in, please, let's bring it back down to earth so that we could make it make some sense. You lose people because then you're talking over their head, right? I've had that feeling before, where you're sitting in a room and people are trying to talk over your head, and I just stay with the look on my face like I'm a buffoon or I'm dumb, because I don't want you to think that you've gotten over on me, but you certainly not going to know that I understand your game. You see, so I'd much rather deal with people that keep it in the middle of the road, let me know what's going on. And I give you an example. You go to the classified, you see a vehicle, say, oh, okay, let me go check out this vehicle. Hey man, what's wrong with the car? Oh, nothing. It runs great. It looks great. You cleaned it up real nice. But what's wrong with the car, man? Just tell me what's wrong with the car. I mean, I really want the car. But is there anything wrong with it? Is there a crack in the manifold? I mean, is it leaking oil? I mean, is the gasket fucking anything? Is the exhaust system screwed up? How about the transmission? Talk to me about what's really going on with this vehicle before I purchase it. Because I could take it up for a test drive and it just runs great up until the point to where I get it home and now I'm going up the street and the goddamn wheels fall off. So can you just tell me what's going on with the vehicle? Now, what goes on is psychologically, if I tell you what's wrong with this vehicle, you may not want the vehicle, right? The owner. But
Right.
if I tell them the truth, then you're giving the consumer an opportunity to say, you know what, I can take on that expense and I'll go deal with it. I'll still purchase the vehicle from you, or it's a little bit too much of a burden. And I appreciate you for telling me that, as opposed to me buying the vehicle, thinking everything's fine. I get it off the lot or I get it from your home. And the next thing you know, a month and a half later, it overheats. It's in the shop. And you could have just told me, hey man, you got to put oil in it every day because it's losing a quart of oil every day. And now it's going to overheat or whatever the case may be. You get where I'm going, Paul? Why
I
can't people be
1000% get what you're going. Yeah.
Why can't
It's
people be straight up?
some people are and some people aren't.
Uh-huh.
You go to buy that same car or buy a product or a program, some people are going to tell you, here's what's wrong with it. Here's the negatives. Here's all the positives. Here's all the negatives. You have all the information. Now you can make a good decision. If you don't have the information, you can't make a good decision. And if somebody's
Right.
trying to sell you something, whether it's a car or a service or a product,
Yeah.
and you get the impression that they're not giving you all the information, you're probably right, because your intuition only loves you and it only cares about you. And if that's how you feel, you're probably right. Don't second guess yourself. There's nothing wrong with the car. It looks beautiful, but it's literally 23 years old. Something needs to be wrong. Something. Maybe they don't know, or maybe they know and they don't want to tell you. It's one of the two. It can only be one of the two.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Well, we're talking about fixing flips. We're talking about financing, creative financing, with my good man Paul with Patriot BFC. Let's see. If you have not subscribed to Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime, look here, man. This is for you. Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us, because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Yes, indeed, Paul. Keep this thing rolling. Make sure y'all tap in with my good friend Jarrell Braswell. www.jbcomedy.com.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, Comedian JB, the real J Braswell, Comedian J Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jbcomedy.com.
Okay, so Paul, we didn't hit just about everything that we could talk about today. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it, man. Let them know who you are, what you got going on. What's your words for today?
All right.
Paul Whitehouse, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, money for your business. I want to talk with you if you want to talk with me. If you need equipment financing, commercial or investment, real estate financing, growth capital, working capital, there's a lot of forms of money for your business. I got resources for all of them. Get a hold of Galen, gemsit.org. He'll get us together and we'll figure the plan out. What does figuring the plan out mean? It means we talk, we can get on a Zoom, get on a three-way phone call, but you tell me what problem you need solved and I'll provide the solutions. We'll make it easy. We've been doing this for 6 years and it's easy business. Easy business. If you don't think that you can get financed for equipment or for real estate, you don't know that for sure. We got lenders who want difficult credit deals. And if we get you approved, then you make the payments on time, 18 months, 24 months, you become solid gold again. You're doing yourself a service. So if you're in the real estate business or you want to be and you don't think you can buy a house, every real estate deal requires money down. So you got to have money down to engage in real estate deals. That's one thing. If you're in business and you need equipment, you don't think you can get approved, we can probably get you approved because the lenders we represent, they know that the world's not perfect. They know that people go through things. If only people with excellent credit got financed, well then 80-90% of business owners ain't going to get financed because, I mean, it's America. It ain't easy out there. But if you don't think you can get approved for equipment, I think we probably can get you approved for equipment. If you need growth capital, working capital for your business, there's ways to do it. Asset-based lending or unsecured credit based upon bank statements. How much money does the lenders will look at that as an asset. They're going to see that you got the cash flow to make payments on it. That's important. So many varieties, so many situations. To wrap it up, money for your business, and get a hold of Galen. He'll put us together. We'll all talk. We'll figure out how to do it. One of our mottos: any industry, any state, any credit, any equipment. Another motto: least expensive money first, best deal structure. So, and what type of, when I say any industry, what does that mean? I mean, whatever you're doing, you're going to need equipment. Can be manufacturing, it can be retail, it can be wholesale, it can be restaurant business, transportation business, construction. I might have already said that, construction. All of those industries are ones that we've done business with. What program specifically? Well, we've talked about this on the show before: equipment lease financing. You need a dump truck, you need a bulldozer. A lot of people rent them. They don't own them, but they'll go to like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some place around here, Warren Wholesale Rental or Sunbelt Rentals. You know, they'll rent dump trucks for a month. They'll rent excavators for a month, bobcats. That's a lot of money. You're putting out $10,000 or $12,000 a month to rent equipment so you can do the job and get paid, but you could own that same equipment for $3,000 or $4,000 a month. I mean, less, depends on how much the equipment is, but yeah, you can own that stuff. Every dollar that we save you goes directly to your bottom line. You know, and that's what we're going to look at as consultants on that subject. Patriot Business Finance Consultants. As a consultant, we want to work with you for the life of your business. I want to talk to you 10 years from now. I want you to call me up and say, here's what I need. Develop a friendship, do a lot of business together. A consultant is going to take the time, and it doesn't require a whole lot more effort. Throw in 20% more effort to make sure that whatever type of financing we line up for you fits you the best, fits your situation, fixes the problem. Problems in business. You're paying too much money for equipment by renting it. Your interest rate is currently too high. You got into something like a merchant cash advance. Talked to a gentleman earlier today. It's hard to believe he's paying out $1,439 a week for a merchant cash advance. There's better ways to do it than that. He got into something, got over his head. We're trying to help him find a way out. But and the debt is $102,000. So $1,439 a week, $5,600, it's almost $5,800 a month on a $102,000 debt. If we can figure out a way to reduce his payment by 75%, maybe attach it to an asset that he has, which we're in the investigative phase with him right now. But if we can reduce his payment to $1,500 or $2,000 a month, how much does he save? Almost $3,800. $3,800, maybe $4,300 a month. How better could he use that money, an additional $4,300 a month, to improve his business, to pay for promotion, advertising, or maybe just take that money and throw it in his kid's college fund. So restructuring your business, we can look into that with you. New equipment, real estate, growth capital. Another angle, something called factoring. If you do business to business work and people owe you money, you do the service or provide the product, and they give you an invoice that says we're going to pay you 30 days later. Sometimes they pay 30 days later. Sometimes they pay 45 or 60 days later or longer. Those invoices, excuse me, can be sold for a discount. So we got lenders who will buy all those invoices for you. Easy example. Your invoice is $10,000. You can make it $100,000. It doesn't matter. That's your invoice. That's what you're owed by a business. You can sell that for a 1%, 2%, or 3% discount. Depends on those percentages depend on how the volume of business that you do annually. If you're doing a small amount, they're going to charge you 3%. If you're doing a huge amount, tens of millions of dollars, they're going to charge you 1%. But they'll buy your invoices from you. You create an invoice for $10,000. The factoring company will advance you 80% of that money. 80% of that money is $8,000. That's a lot of money. You sold the invoice, they give you $8,000. They haven't even collected any money yet, but they're advancing you $8,000. When the customer pays that invoice, $10,000, what about the extra $2,000? That comes to you, to your business, minus the discount. If it's 3%, you get another $1,700 on top of the $8,000 you've already received. You've sold the invoice for $9,700. That is, you got a good profit margin. You perform the service for $7,000. Instead of making 3, you're making 27, but you're getting your money immediately. That's a good thing because you need your money immediately. It's called cash flow to operate the business with. Imagine that you are a growing business. You're putting out hundreds of thousands of dollars of work per month, but you're not going to get paid on it for 45 days or 60 days or something like that. You could use it right now to do payroll, to pay your taxes, to buy products, to buy a lot of things. So that's factoring. That's another financing program that we offer. I'll recap it. Equipment financing, real estate financing, growth capital, working capital, unsecured capital, factoring. Let me throw in a few more. SBA, USDA loans. We've been in business for 6 years. We're very well experienced with equipment financing and real estate financing. Here's the facts and the truth. We've done 2 SBA loans, but we've done them. So we just don't really run into it much where people need that. But anybody listening here, if you need an SBA loan, we can walk you through the process on that. It's easy. It's really easy. Send you the paperwork, fill it out. You don't pay us out of pocket. The lender pays us 1%. That's all that anybody is allowed to charge you for putting together an SBA loan for you. So, if you get approached by anybody to help you get SBA loans, just know, because they might not tell you, we're telling you, you can only be charged 1% per the law. So that gets wrapped up in the financing. You don't got to come out of pocket with that. SBA financing can be used for a lot of things. SBA, USDA. There's a lot of money out there with those programs. Industries, let's hit every industry. Entertainment, music, construction. You cannot buy owner-occupied, well, you can buy owner-occupied real estate with an SBA, USDA loan. You have to occupy 51% of the business. You can rent the other side, the other 49% of the square foot. But SBA and USDA loans cannot be used for what's called speculative real estate. You can't buy an apartment building with those. You can't do a fix and flip with those loans. You can buy an owner-occupied commercial property, 100,000 square foot, you occupy 51,000 of it, you rent the other 49,000 out. Under those conditions, you can rent property that you own under an SBA loan. But as consultants, all these things I'm telling you, these are all angles that we're aware of. So if you're in business and you're looking for money, you can go to your bank, but your bank's only going to tell you about SBA loans. They're not going to go into detail and spend 2 hours on the phone with you like I will do. I'm here to give you the information. I want you to fully understand it before we go forward. And then I'll provide the resources and put them together. It's easy to make deals. Time in business, more than 3 years, good to excellent credit. With real estate financing, you're putting the least amount down. With equipment financing, you can put first and second and maybe a security deposit down, 3 payments in advance if you choose to only do that. Or you can put money down for your equipment financing. Difficult credit, let's top on that. Commercial investment real estate financing, you can buy. You just got to put more money down because in the lender's eyes, that's more of a risk. So what do you put down? 30, 25, 30, 35% to buy to buy investment or commercial real estate with a difficult credit score. I mean, I got ones where you don't have to have a credit score. If you're buying $100,000 house and if you own a $100,000 house and you want to only pull 50 out of it, I've got one lender who doesn't care about the credit score. It does not matter at all. It's a 50% loan to value. No problem. Approved. Stamp the approval. Difficult credit for equipment financing. With time in business and a good credit score, you can put minimum down. 1 payment if you choose to do that with the right lender. If you got difficult credit and you need a dump truck or a Bobcat for your construction company, you can still get this done. We can get it done for you. Take an application, collect information, send it to the lender. The lender sends us a term sheet. The term sheet's going to spell out the deal. It's going to say term, 60 months, 72 months, length of the deal. How much money down is required to make this happen for them to say yes? Here's the payment. Here's the rate. Here's any other small details. So if you got difficult credit, your construction company is growing, landscaping company, concrete company, excavating company, whatever, tree service company, recording studio, whatever, man. If it's growing and you got money coming in and you need more equipment to provide all the services to double the customers, you don't think you can get financed? You can get financed. The lender's going to want money down. It's more of a risk with difficult credit, but they will say yes. We've done some crazy deals where I didn't even think they could get done. As positive as I am, I looked at it initially. I'm like, I don't know about this. But they'll put it together. So money available for your business.
All right. All right. Yes, indeed, Paul. We certainly appreciate that, man. Looking forward to next Tuesday and see what we got coming down the pipeline. More conversation as it relates to business financing, and getting things done. Ladies and gentlemen, I am getting prepared to go watch the Detroit Pistons play the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's been a great episode. I know that we'll probably do In the Heat of the Night with Jarrell Braswell, since he didn't get an opportunity to jump on today. We'll jump on with Jarrell later on this evening. I'll probably say around 9:30, 10 o'clock, we'll jump on. I'll give you a heads up. Hopefully we'll see you there. But in the meantime and in between time, like always, beautiful people, it's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous. What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G. And this is my personal invite to all of you to join me on Industry Talk on the Prime Time Network daily at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I get into great conversations with entrepreneurs, artists, industry leaders, you name it, we bring it to the table. So make sure you tap in with us, lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We stream on all major platforms. And be sure to visit us at gemsitpublishing.com. This is Industry Talk. Let's get into it.
Motion.